Welcome back to Real Builds with our parts car series. And everybody finally left me alone. There were no emergencies and the weather even cooperated. So over the weekend we finished stripping the Triumph TR7. So I want you to note what's left of this car, because there's not much. Every useful component has been removed, marked, bagged, and put away. It's all listed so I can find the stuff I need when I need it, even to the extent of pulling as much of the wiring harness as was practical. We didn't take this seat, because it's seized and it's terrible. It's not useful for anything. And of course the ancient exhaust is going away. And we got a lot more than anticipated because I went after a lot of small stuff. What we didn't get was the windshield, which I'm still annoyed about because they are so cotton picking much money. But you can also see as we walk around the car why this one's a parts car. Even the rad support is rusted out, and it's really unfortunate because it would have been nice to be able to restore a car like this one. But you can only do what you can do, and this one was long past being practically restorable. Any car can be restored, but you reach financial limits, and if I had tried to restore this one, even doing it myself, I would have wound up with the world's most expensive TR7, and that's just not in the cards. But even, look at places like this where you see the rust is actually going through the upper structure. It's done the same practically everywhere. Really unfortunate. But again, the big deal is we've gotten everything we can get off this vehicle. And for those of you who don't think the rockers are too bad, you can push your finger through anywhere. As you can see here, back here. If you look underneath, it's even worse. It's there's just, the poor girl sat in the field way too long. Another good example. It's everywhere, which is really unfortunate. But it's given us all the parts we need for our upcoming TR7 project, and a lot of spares. And all of them comparatively low mileage. So for instance, our engine only has, I believe it's 90,000 kilometers on it, and the 5-speed. She's complete with alternator starter. We kept the engine wiring harness intact because if I don't need it, somebody else might. They do go off once in a while. I've never had the experience, but I've heard enough about it. And then of course the whole front suspension, which is already tagged and put away. And we have the rear end with a 390 gear set. It's the larger one with all the control arms, which I'll be taking off so we can work on the project over the winter. Bumpers. And just a mass of other bits and pieces, large and small. So, we have all these shelves over here full of parts. Out in our storage area, we're full of parts now. We've got parts till the cows come home. And it took, in actual time, it took 3 days to strip the car down. Just we kept getting interrupted and having disasters. But out of that, we've gotten thousands of dollars worth of parts, and all the parts we need to do the 5-speed conversion for our green coupe. Now, we started off with a strip sheet, and you can see here we've gotten all the parts that we were after except the windshield. The body has been picked absolutely clean. Plus we got a lot of other parts off that weren't on the strip sheet list. Because we had to move them anyway, they were in good condition, we snagged them. So when the smoke clears, all that's left to do is pick up the phone this week, make a phone call, and have the old body shell hauled away. Depending on where you're at, you can actually, guys will actually pay a few dollars for it. I'm not in that position. I just want it gone. So we do have a company not far from me that does that kind of thing, and it'll be out of my hair. And we'll move on to other projects. So the big deal when you're doing this stuff is bag, tag, box, everything. Know what you want. I have another car to strip. We won't be taking anywhere near as many parts. I'm not going to bother videoing it. This was the big one because I've got so much already, but I'm after a few particular components that are really expensive off of it. It's not a TR7. It's for another project that's coming up, and it'll only take a couple days, and there'll be a lot more going away. But this one's, other than what a little bit of interior, this thing's down to just the metal, and no mess in the yard, no unsightly carcass in the backyard, and I can find everything. It's all listed, it's all marked. If I need a piece, I know where to go and get it, and that's a big deal. So when you're doing a parts car, be organized. Mark everything. Be sure you're grabbing the stuff you want. Do your homework ahead of time and make sure it's the right deal for you. So that's it for the parts car series, and this will all be moving to the Where to Get Started part of the Real Builds YouTube channel in a month or so, after everybody's had time to see it as a complete playlist. And we've covered pretty much everything you need to know on where to get started. So from this point, we're going to be moving forward. We've got some new projects coming up before long, and we'll be having a short chat on BS and bench racing pretty quick. Take care. Bye-bye.